Well, hello there, nice person. You know, seasons are like circumstances. They change, but they don't usually change very rapidly. When we are experiencing circumstances that are not to our liking, we have mighty promises from God that He will go to work on our behalf to bring about a change in those circumstances. But that change doesn't always happen immediately. So, interestingly enough, God has provided a way. He doesn't want us to have to suffer while we're waiting for the circumstances to change. He's given us a way that we can change the emotional climate that we're experiencing while we are waiting for Him to remedy whatever circumstance it is that needs to be transformed. So how does He do that? Well, the Bible says, this is interesting, it's very interesting, so pay close attention. Believe it or not, your mind, our minds or our thoughts are actually the thermostat that controls the emotional climate that we're experiencing. Now, that's not too hard to prove. All you have to do, if you want to prove that there's a connection between how you feel and what you're thinking about, is just start thinking about some terrible thing that somebody said or did to you. And it won't be too long as you continue to ponder or dwell on that. You're going to be able to sense a change in the way that you feel, and it won't be a positive change. Okay, so one thing that we need to understand is our emotional climate, if you will. God expects our emotional climate to be unique and distinctive. But did you know that there are many seasons in the world where it can become extremely hot? The world all around you or the circumstances that are around you can be extremely hot. But we have a way we can fix our thoughts on something that is true and lovely and of a good report. And believe it or not, even though we are in the midst of terrible circumstances, it can be like turning the refrigeration on. And emotionally, we begin to experience peace, even in the midst of the storm. So anyway, that's what I'm talking to you about today. That's why the apostle told us to fix our thoughts and keep our thoughts fixed upon things that are pure and lovely and of a good report. Why? Because it's going to change in a positive way the way that you feel, even in the midst of a terrible, nightmarish, if you will, circumstance or situation. Where the Bible also encourages us to be eternally minded. And did you know that part of being eternally minded includes recognizing and realizing that no matter what our temporary circumstance may be right now, our eternal destiny, the way the apostle put it, I don't care how bad your circumstance may be right now at this moment, it isn't even worthy to be compared to the glory that we're going to experience in the future. Now, the reason why the Bible tells us don't worry is because all the worry in the world doesn't change your circumstance. All it does is affect your emotional status. See? So don't waste your time worrying about things. Our instruction is just to cast our care upon the Lord and then fix our thoughts on something that is pure and lovely and worth thinking about. That way we can continue to maintain a unique and distinctive environment in the midst of a world that can be pretty cold or it can be pretty hot, depending on how you look at it. I mean, think about it. If it's 110 degrees outside and you're sitting in refrigeration, isn't that attractive to people who are out there in the heat? Don't they want to sometimes come into the store just so they can get out of the heat? Or if it's a bitter cold night, you build a fire. And putting a log on the fire, to me, just signifies finding something good and positive that you can focus on, add it to it, and just watch how it begins to affect your stability. People are drawn to a nice, warm, crackling fire on a cold, bitter night. And people will be attracted to you when you really grasp the significance of how important it is to recognize that our minds or our thoughts are literally the thermostat that is controlling the emotional climate that we're experiencing. And so remember, you may not be able to just wave a magic wand, so to speak, and immediately change your circumstances, but God has given you a way to find comfort and encouragement in the midst of the worst circumstance you'll ever face in your life. But the key is fixing our thoughts and keeping our thoughts fixed on the wonderful words of life, and thinking about this fact: no matter how dismal things may be, no matter how impossible your circumstance or situation may be, the truth of the matter is, the Bible says that eye has not seen, nor has ear heard, nor has even entered into the heart of man to imagine the beauty of the things that God has in store for those who love him. So if nothing else, if you can't think of anything, if you can't think of one single thing right now, this moment, it's pure and lovely and of a good report, think about that. Be eternally minded. Recognize and realize that this storm will pass, and you will experience a joy that is indescribable forever. God bless you.